Okay, so I'm going to take you guys into the field. I'm going to do you a little field trip. We're going to go looking for records. Actually, it's February now, and the video where I'm looking for the records is from last, I think, June or July. It was hot. It was in Albuquerque. And my friends at SloLow, they hadn't done a record fair for a few years, mostly because of COVID. And they had a lot of backlog, sort of duplicate records, and some just utter trash that they needed to get rid of. And they decided to have a big garage sale down there in Albuquerque. And they're really great people. I love SlowLow, and just really the nicest guys. Um, anyway, I decided to go down and spend a few hours just basically pawing through their boxes on the floor, and you'll see what I found, and you'll see what I kept at the very end. This video is really long. Might break it up into a couple of parts, but so be it. Anyway, enjoy.
I would almost didn't that one. That OJ's one. I know, but this really because
So a lot of this is the typical sort of stuff you see at these things. I found some stuff though, but this box looks pretty dead. Lenny Tristano, that's not bad. Huh, I'm gonna check this out. I don't know what that is. Looks interesting though. That's the kind of thing you hope to find. Stuff that you've never heard of. That looks interesting. This is a great record. Genuine Tongue, Funeral, Gary Burton, Carla Bley. It's kind of beat though. Kay Gardner, if you're into new age type stuff, this gets out there. Pretty cool record. It's also kind of beat though. That's like I might check this out too. I don't know what that is. Skids. It's probably, I don't know what that is either. So here's another crate, kind of typical. Some of the stuff's probably really worthwhile, but not of interest to me. Ooh, there's Shaft. Can you dig it? Passport. That's one of the newer ones. You don't want those. That's smooth jazz. Scott Hamilton, good straight ahead player. Echoes of an Era. Look at that lineup. I'm not interested in vocals though. Dave Dudley, I don't know what that is, but I think it's country music. I found a decent stack of things that I'm going to show you.
I usually give you a little bump when you're buying stuff. Yeah.
Nick Vicker, it's Roger Daltrey, Average White Band, total classic. Old Julio. Huh. Look at this one too. Let's see what's in here. Andy Bachman Turner Overdrive. Check that out. And not much in here. Ooh, Innerzone Orchestra. I'll check that out. That sounds interesting. Here's another box. It's got some interesting cheap heat in it.
See, and that's a lot of people. That's why I get from it.
There you go. Infinity Machine, Passport, great. Iguachu, their last decent record. Looking Through, killer. You don't see this in the dollar bins much anymore. It's probably beef, but it's pretty cool that you find it. I've seen a lot of Jimmy Smith today, Sean Phillips, very typical dollar bin record that's actually worth getting.
Yeah, he's really cool. Everything is
So yeah, I've got a bunch. I've got about 50 records so far, most of which I want to just talk about. I've already got them. But
is the DJ for Sir Mix-a-Lot. Yeah, one of his label mates.
so there you go. It just goes on and on and on. So I'm still in the midst of going through stuff here, but got some good music happening in the background. I thought I'd show you some of the things I found, mostly for $1 a piece. On the top, Godly and Cream, L. They were in a band called 10cc that was really creative. This is a solo record, duo record they did in the late 70s, I think. It's really excellent and highly recommended. Jan Hammer, First 7 Days, classic, also $1. This is one of those records that people tend to overlook because it looks cheesy, and it is a vocal group, but it's kind of out there. The Sound of Feeling is the name of the group, and it's I think it's 2 women and a guy. And but it's a really interesting record, and for $1 I'm gonna take a shot at it. I've had this before, and of course Oliver Nelson is involved, so it's got to be good. This was $5. I think I'm gonna just grab this. Randy Weston, Blue Note reissue series, Water Damage on the cover. Couldn't believe I found this. This is not a cheap record, but Sugarcane Harris, whenever you see his stuff, it's worth getting. He was with Zappa for a while, and did a lot of blues rock type stuff, but all very high quality. And this is a great record. I've already got it. I'll probably send it to a friend of mine. This is with I think mostly Harris's buddies from the sort of Harvey Mandel circle, and probably grab this too. It looks like it's all instrumental, so I'm going to go for it. But I've seen this in the dollar bins before. Kind of an oddball record. Howard Rumsey's House All Stars. I've seen these fairly commonly in thrift stores, oddly enough. But some great people on this. I don't know if it's in good shape or not. Here's a classic, great progressive rock record. I Don't Care, Ask Anyone. I've talked about this in the past. Fantastic record. Always turns up at these dollar sales. Pee Wee Russell, best known as sort of a Dixieland kind of a guy, but he did some records that are kind of out, kind of like Steve Lacy. No chordal instruments in this. It's clarinet, trombone, bass, and drums. It's a tremendous record. Scott Lindenmuth Group, early 80s fusion. I might give it a shot. I'm not sure. I don't like the looks of them. This is something I wanted anyway. Stan Getz is a really good target because he's thought of as sort of a moldy fig by people now, but he was an incredible player with great sound, just top drawer jazz saxophonist. And this is a record he did with an organ trio, Eddie Lewis, actually. So I was looking for that anyway. This is the first thing I came across. Original CTI, George Benson, Bad Benson. I think it's got Cobham on it. Can't go wrong with some of the CTI stuff. Here's another one. I've already got this, but this is the kind of thing you can find in dollar bins. It's a great record. This has Alice Coltrane on it, believe it or not, Ron Carter. It's the Rascals. It's a kind of a jazzy soul rock record, but it's, if you dig sort of a British jazz vocal kind of thing going on now, you might really like this. It's definitely got a sort of a spiritual bent to it. It's a 2-record set too, long tracks. Jeff Lorber, I think it's his first or second record on Inner City, definitely worthwhile. Ray Gomez, undersung hero of the fusion era, tremendous player. There's some super red hot stuff on this. Probably get that one. Some of these I picked out just because they're interesting and they're representative of the kinds of things that you see in dollar bins. But and some of them I already have, and I'm not gonna buy them. But
Denny Zeitlin. This is a solo record, solo piano record, but if you're into that, this is great. Dixie Dregs. This is, I think, going to be an upgrade if the record's in nice shape on my current copy. It's their debut, major label debut. I was just interested in this. Jimmy Smith and a Plain Bound Rapper, and I might just check this out. Looks like there's some interesting tracks on this. They just keep playing good music in here. Teo Macero, he was the producer for Miles Davis and a lot of other great jazz musicians. Just a really interesting musician on his own as well, kind of an avant-garde dude. And I'll probably grab that. I have this one already. This is an incredible record. And really anything Jeff Beck has done over the years really belongs in your collection if you're into any kind of interesting or progressive or jazzy, rocky kind of adventurous music. The dude is one of the great guitarists ever. Here's another classic record. I've got this one already, but I thought I'd bring this up again. I've discussed David Sanchez before. This is a beautiful record. It's sort of at the nexus of jazz rock, progressive rock, and gospel, believe it or not. It's a beautiful record full of healing music. This one I saw several copies of in the dollar bins here. Capability Brown was a British progressive rock band. This is sealed. So I thought I might give it another shot. But it's a pretty cool record. If you like British, early 70s British progressive rock, get this one. And there are multiple copies of that in the dollar bins. This is a bit of an oddball thing. This is a Carl Craig thing from Detroit. And I think they just didn't know what this was. I've got it on CD. It's killer. Innerzone Orchestra. Here's another Ponte record. Again, I've got this tremendous record. See it all the time cheap. This was a bit of a surprise. Eddie Daniels, I believe this is his debut. He was still playing saxophone, not specializing in clarinet. And the reason why I'm picking this up is Fender Rhodes. I'm kind of a nut about Fender Rhodes. Also Billy Mintz on drums. Can't miss that. Here's a guy that's played with pretty much everybody in the fusion biz, but this is not a fusion record. Eye of the Beholder by Stu Goldberg on PA USA. Interesting LA group of people. I don't think I have this, so I'll probably pick that up. I was really surprised to see this. I've seen this record for ridiculous amounts of money. Of course, I've got to check out all these to see if it's damaged, but these Buddy Miles records, these 2 record sets where they just jam, there's some really good stuff on them. Do not sleep on those. Here's another classic that I do own already, but I picked it up because, geez, you know, if you don't have this and you like jazz rock fusion, you owe it to yourself to get this. It's a great record. There's some vocals on it, but they're fun vocals. They won't kill you. Here's another guy. I saw numerous Don Ellis records, both from his Pacific Jazz days as well as the Columbia stuff. I like the stuff on Columbia. It's big band jazz rock, and I already have this. My wife loves this stuff, so extra bonus there. But yeah, no, these are good records. Some of them get a little cheesy. Dixie Dregs, can't go wrong with that. This might be my old copy. I need to look at that. Here's another classic. Everyone should own this record. Lenny White, one of the great drummers of our time. His first solo record, Venusian Summer. It's got everybody on it. Larry Young is on it. Tom Harrell, Ray Gomez. It's just a killing record, beginning to end. I've seen these around. Marshall Solar is a fantastic European jazz pianist. And they say he's Europe's greatest. I don't know about that, but I'm willing to forgive a little bit of hyperbole and just grab this for $1. And this might be the same record, just repackaged. Maybe not. It says at Newport, so I'll check them both out though. but great player. Did some really interesting stuff later on. DDA Lockwood, live in Montreux. I think it's his last really good record. In the fusion mode. Now he did do some straight ahead stuff that was incredible later on, and you can't miss with that. But this isn't bad. Tropea, this is John Tropea, the disco jazz session man from the early 70s. I've always passed on this, but I might give it a shot. It might have some interesting moments. And finally, this 12-inch by the Innerzone Orchestra. I think this is their only hit, Bug in the Bass Bin. I don't know if I'm going to get it or not. I'm not into 12 inches, but it's kind of a neat record. Anyway, that's what I found so far. I might go diving in again, but that's the cheap heat, the live cheap heat. So I'm back. I went in for another deep dive into the dollar bins. Actually, this is mostly from the $5 bin, and found some fairly interesting and somewhat typical and also somewhat atypical bargain records. This is by the Crusaders. One of their best records ever, frankly. They did a lot of great music, but this one's particularly killing and worth every penny of the $5. Past the plate. This is a repackaging of an import that I think came out on either Sonnet or some smaller Scandinavian label. Anyway, reissued on Terra, I think in England. And it's a duet record with Jukka Tolonen and Koste Apatrea. Those of you who are into progressive rock will know these guys from their work in Samla Mamas Mana and Tazvalen Presendetti. So this is a great record. It's an all-acoustic duet record. I think there's some piano on a few tracks, Stefan Nilsson. It's a really nice record, and $5, worth every penny. Here's a classic. This is one I don't have. I'm gonna hang on to this one. Alfonso Johnson's third solo record, Spellbound. Much more of a prog rock effort than his first two, which were more jazz, funk, R&B type things, which are must-haves, by the way. But I was really happy to find this. It's a great record. It's got great personnel too. Clyde Kreiner is on keyboards. I can't remember who else is on it. I think Mingo Lewis is on it. It's a cool record. That's a keeper. We used to have a running joke about Eddie Harris back in the day, or even in the 90s. His records were everywhere for like 25 cents. So it's kind of neat to find some Eddie Harris records in the $5 bin. His stuff's, I think, really high quality. One of the most talented and underrated and underrecognized jazz musicians ever. Eddie Harris could do it all. Keyboards, saxophone, trumpet, lead trumpet, real trailblazer in terms of electronics, great sense of humor. Got to see him live and really put on a great show. Really enjoy Eddie Harris. And so I found a couple of Eddie Harris records. This one's particularly good. I might have to grab this one. I think this has like Jody Christian and people like that on it, Chicago royalty. And I was just talking about this record with somebody. Turning Point, British band, fantastic record. Creatures of the Night is their first one. It's usually pretty expensive, but hey, look, there's a straggler. It's cheap, $5. I have it already. I'm gonna just snap this up and I'll find a new owner for it. I used to really be into prog, and I loved this record when I was a high school kid. And it's really silly now, I think. But Illusions on a Double Dimple by the German band Triumvirate. They're kind of like Germany's answer to Emerson, Lake and Palmer. I don't know. One way or another, I don't know if I'm going to get that one. Louis Gasca, just get anything that he's ever done. Really wonderful trumpet player, affiliated with Santana and Malo. And this is a great record. I think it's Terry Bozzio's first recorded appearance, sounding a great deal like Jack DeJohnette. He must have been like 18. Brand X. If you ever see Brand X records, get them. Phil Collins wanted to do fusion before he realized the error of his ways and became a pop star. And Brand X was his band. John Goodsall from Atomic Rooster on guitar. He recently just passed away. Percy Jones on bass. And Robin Lumley on keys. This is their second LP, I believe, Moroccan Roll. I've already got it. I thought I'd pull it. Here's another one I already have. Joaquin Kuhn's Sun Shower with Jan Ackerman and Ray Gomez. Kind of a more of a rock, instrumental funk rock record. There are some vocals on it. I believe there's 6 tracks or 8 tracks, and I think half of them are instrumental, or more than half of them are instrumental. There's a singer on some of it though. But it's good. It's a good record. I already have it. I see this a lot in cutout bins and in thrift stores, and I don't know why. It's a McCoy Tyner record. It's great. Super Trios, Eddie Gomez and Jack DeJohnette on one LP, Ron Carter and Tony Williams on another. I've already got it, but it's really nice record. Again, all these are only $5. Michael Mantler's movies, I've talked about this in the past. And this is the first one with Tony Williams on drums. Tremendous, classic jazz rocker. Must have. That's my taste, you know. I apologize that I'm not doing other stuff. There's so much stuff here, though. I could do like 10 of these. I used to have this, the M Squad, and there's a sort of a sub-genre called crime jazz. And if you're into that, this is an album that you definitely want to check out. Music from the M Squad. I believe it was a TV series starring Lee Marvin. There he is in all of his gun-toting glory. Anyway, really just kind of definitive crime jazz record. Kind of fun to have around. Also found the first few Weather Report records. Found several of their records, actually. This is their debut. An amazing record. Airto, Alphonse Mouzon, Miroslav Vitus, Wayne Shorter, and Joe Zawinul. Total classic, genius music. This is the music that got me into Weather Report's Sweet Nighter. It's their third. And at this point, they had Eric Gravatt on drums and Dom Ramau on percussion, but they still had the triumvirate of Vitus, Shorter, and Zawinul. I always think that this is their peak. I mean, everything else they did was great, but this is just ceaselessly wonderful. Another classic record I dug up, Spectrum by Billy Cobham with Tommy Bolin on guitar, Jan Hammer. This is the album that convinced me I needed to play the drums. So I already have it, of course. Here's another one I already have, but if you don't have it, you should have it. My Goals Beyond by Mahavishnu John McLaughlin. It's his all-acoustic record. One side of jams, total jams, with Dave Liebman, Bottle Roy, Jerry Goodman, Billy Cobham, Charlie Hayden, Airto. Did I say Dave Liebman already? It's an amazing side. Spiritual jazz all the way. The other side is all acoustic solo guitar. Beautiful, beautiful pieces. Really a must-have record. Finally, I want to check this out, but Paul Brett did some interesting sort of proggy instrumental records. Inner Life, they have that over there. I didn't pull it because I've had that one already. This is called Earth Birth. I don't know what this is like, but I'm going to look it up. I might grab it. It has him looking like he's about to sing here, so I might just pass. But it's an import pressing, and it's kind of got a cool cover, and it's a suite. It might be neat. I don't know. Anyway, so there you go. There's Cheap Heat Part 2. And I got some nice booty here. And I hope something like this happens near where you're at. We don't have a record show this year. We haven't had one for 3 years. So this is what they're doing instead of having a record show, is doing this warehouse sale here at SloLow Records in Albuquerque. Anyway, that's it. Au revoir.